Welcome back. All right, so the Washington Capitals. We're going to talk about the Washington Capitals, their upcoming season. Their last 5 seasons, they're consistently good in the regular season. And that's the thing. They are consistently one of the better teams in their division, one of the better teams in the East. The playoffs have been a bit of a problem since the Cup win in 2018. So 2017-2018, they finished 49-26-7. They were 9th in goals for, 15th in goals against. And they were coming off of President's Trophy wins, and it looked like they were scaling back, honestly. In the end, they end up winning the Stanley Cup. So it's all about getting hot at the right time. The following season, they end up 48-26-8, so the record's almost identical. 5th in goals for, 17th in goals against. 2019-2020, they were 41-20-8. They were 2nd in goals for and 15th in goals against. Goals against has been an issue for the Caps throughout this. 2020-2021, they're 36-15-5. They were 3rd in goals for and 17th in goals against. This past season, they were 44-26-12, 10th in goals for and 12th in goals against. So they dropped down to their lowest standing in goals for over the 5-year period. The 12th in goals against was actually their best, which makes it odd since they completely revamped their goaltending in the offseason. Both Vitek Vanacek and Ilya Samsonov, young goaltenders, not coming back. Samsonov gone to the Toronto Maple Leafs, Vanacek gone to the New Jersey Devils. So they also lost the services of Michael Kempny and Justin Schultz on the blue line. Kempny didn't play that much last year anyways. For Schultz, I think the writing was on the wall for a while. New faces, there's a lot. First off, Conor Brown. Conor Brown is a very important player. I think he's underrated as well. He played very well for the Ottawa Senators the last couple of years. I think Caps fans are going to like him. Dylan Strome's an interesting addition. How's he going to work? With Strome, it's all about chemistry. When he's with somebody he has chemistry with, he looks really good. He puts up points. If he's on a line or if he's with somebody that he doesn't have that chemistry with, he can be kind of invisible. So we'll see how things go for Strome this year. Eric Gustafson added on the blue line. Darcy Kemper, Charlie Lindgren are your goaltenders in all likelihood. Lindgren being given a 3-year contract. That tells me that they're going to give him the chance at that backup job. And then I've got Hendrix Lapierre as a potential new face. I've only got one breakthrough candidate, just for the record. Like the Capitals, much like the Penguins, there's some age issues here and just not a lot of room here for rookies to come in. But Hendrix Lapierre may very well come in and could play well. Their tandem in net, as I mentioned, Darcy Kemper, Charlie Lindgren. Darcy Kemper coming off of a Stanley Cup win. People will point out, well, they didn't win the Cup because of Kemper. I would answer with, but they didn't lose the Cup because of Kemper. And he does have that Cup ring. He has that experience, and it'll be interesting to see how things work out for him with the Caps. So down the middle, this is going to be an interesting one because Nicholas Backstrom, of course, is out. Nicholas Backstrom having hip surgery in the offseason. And it's the kind of hip surgery that usually ends careers or makes it so that players aren't quite as effective when they come back. That's been really what's happened a lot of the time. Evgeny Kuznetsov then is your number 1 center, as he would have been, I think, if Backstrom was healthy. I think at this point, Kuznetsov's number 1, Backstrom's number 2. Dylan Strome slides into that number 2 spot on Cap Friendly's list, and I don't see any reason why they wouldn't put him there. Although Lars Eller is capable of jumping into the number 2 slot if he needs to. I don't think you'd want him there over an extended period of time, but he can do it here and there. And then Nick Dowd, who's had a very good run with the Capitals, the 4th-line center. I like that down the middle. Eller, Backstrom on the older side of things, but Kuznetsov's in his prime. So their best month this past season, I went with March, where they were 9-3-1. Their worst month, January, they were 4-6-2. So it was an up-and-down season for them overall. And one thing with the Caps as the season went along, I wasn't really convinced that they matched up well against anybody else that they could have faced in the East, and then they were out in the first round again. So we'll see how this season goes. Now, the channel vote is darn near identical, and again, this is one of the reasons why I like using the double channel vote. 8% on both channels said first or second place for the Washington Capitals. 61% on the Hockey Channel, 60% on the Entertainment Channel said that the Caps are third or fourth. So 69 or 68% are saying that the Caps should be fourth or higher, meaning playoffs. Below that line, fifth or sixth, and fifth might still be above that line. We'll see how the Atlantic does. but 27% on the Hockey Channel, 28% on the other. Have them 5th or 6th, 7th or 8th. It's 4% on the main channel, where there were 24,000 plus votes. 5% on the other channel, where there were 1,400 plus votes. And again, it just really shows that with a smaller sample size, larger sample size, it really runs out to about the same amount. So I like that. That's nice. Cup odds, they're listed as having a plus 4,000. So if you put down 100 on them, you make $4,000. Value bet, sure, I guess. But again, I prefer to have the $100. Cap space, that's a no. Now, Backstrom going on LTIR, does it help? Yes. Does it help in the offseason? No. So when the season gets going, you're going to have a little bit of cap space if you're Washington. I don't think they spend it because the expectation is Backstrom comes back the middle of the season. You don't want to add guys and then have to pitch guys out and all that fun stuff and get nothing back because teams aren't going to offer you anything if they know you have to get under the cap. So the top 4 on the blue line, Martin Favari, excellent season for Favari. Really, really solid. Good defensive defenseman there. John Carlson. Carlson is a defenseman that at this point, I don't know if he's ever going to win a Norris. But when he retires, I still think there's enough there for him to get consideration for the Hall of Fame. But it's going to be interesting to see where things end up for Carlson when he's done. Good thing is he's nowhere near done it yet. Dmitry Orlov, Nick Jensen round out the top 4. And we'll see if that is, in fact, how it all shakes down for them, right? Breakthrough candidate, I went with Connor McMichael. McMichael on and off has been, I think, effective. I think that his offense, I do still think there's that possibility that he'll hit his stride at the NHL level and the points and the goals will come. But he was the one that I looked at and said, yeah, I could see him being a young player that breaks through. We'll see. Their coach, of course, is Peter Laviolette. Very successful NHL coach. Brian McClellan as GM, I think he's done a really solid job with this team, keeping it competitive. But the one thing the Caps are going to be measured by this year, I think, is do they get out of the first round? Because since 2018, that's been the challenge. And at some point in time, the Heat's gonna really ramp up here. So the goals leader this year was Alex Ovechkin. Yes. Be surprised, be shocked that Ovechkin led the Capitals in goals. He had 50 this past season, and I do expect him to get 50 again because he's Ovi. Kuznetsov and Wilson tied for second place with 24. Tom Wilson starting the season on the IR as well. So the Caps are up against it without Backstrom and Wilson to start the season. The assist leader, well, Kuznetsov and Carlson tied for the lead with 54 assists. So Kuznetsov, pretty solid season, 78 points overall. Special teams, power play surprisingly low, 18.8%. When you got a power play with the best power play goal producer ever in Ovechkin, it is surprising to see them not at the top of the standings when it comes to power plays. Penalty kill, 80.4%, a little bit better on the penalty kill than on the power play. So expiring contracts, there's a lot. If anybody's interested in picking up an expiring contract from the Capitals, I would think they'll be listening this year. And again, it comes down to whether you view them as contenders, whether or not they should be renting at the deadline, whether they should hold steady. There will be that difference of opinion there. But Conor Brown's on an expiring contract. We'll see if they keep him. Lars Eller, Garnet Hathaway. Hathaway, very good shift disturber out there. I make sure that I pronounce the F in there. Connor Sherry. Sherry's been very good, whether he goes by Sherry or Sherry, and I know it's by Sherry because he clarified that when he was with the Penguins. But yeah, Sherry I think has been good for depth for them. Marcus Johansson, who could have gone and signed elsewhere, opted to come back and sign with the Caps. He clearly likes it there, and they like his services. Dmitry Orlov on an expiring contract. Nick Jensen. So there's two of the defensemen right there. Trevor Van Riemsdyk, Eric Gustafsson. So Gustafsson comes in for a year. Carl Hagelin and Matt Irwin. And I believe Hagelin's going to be on the IR to start the season as well. So it really is a matter of the Capitals need to have the players who are not currently listed as injured to stay healthy. And they're going to need to get off to a good start. And they're going to need better goaltending. The goaltending definitely cost them at points last year. What surprised me was it looked like they had more faith in Samsonov than Vanacek. So I figured Vanacek might go, but they'd hold Samsonov. I thought, well, they wouldn't get rid of both. And then they did. So there you go. The Washington Capitals this year, it's going to be interesting to see how quickly everything gels, how well everybody plays together. But let me know your thoughts. Is the channel too optimistic or are they too pessimistic? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.